Yeah, g'day mate, Kitteridge here from Boating NZ. Well, we've got a fantastic day out here today, and what better way to spend it than out on the water with the new Innovision 555. And I've got Paul Senior here, the proud owner. And Paul, we've got a bit of a history with the Innovisions in the past. We've had a 515,
yes.
And that was probably the nicest 5 metre boat that I've ever been on.
Sure,
how
thanks,
does this stack up against that?
Well, this is just a little bit bigger. It's just, exploded out, a bit, so it's a bit wider, a bit longer. Performance is a little bit better. It's got a bit more storage space as well. When we're talking about Innovisions, I've done about 450 hours in them now.
Wow.
So I know about the performance of them.
Sure.
And what I like doing now is actually like showing off because they go so well. So any boat that comes alongside me, I want to give them a race, mate, because I know the performance of this boat is just through the roof, and we don't get wet and it doesn't pound. I've got zip weights on the back. So as far as performance goes, which is probably the number one thing you want when you're a fisherman and you need to get to these places, it's not always calm. You might have to go through some rough water to get there. Having a boat you can trust, and you know you're not going to get wet, nor your camera gear is going to get wet.
Sure.
And you're safe and comfortable, makes a huge difference, especially to my confidence and how far I can take this boat. The thing I like about it is the simplicity of it. I told Simon I want a simple boat. I don't like little gadgets everywhere that I may or may not use. I just want it real simple and clean, so there's less to break down, there's less to maintain. That's my whole kind of concept of a fishing boat. And the other part I really like about it is the open centre console, where we can fight fish all the way around.
Yep.
And you can see the gunnels are at a height where you can fight fish. Other boats with a normal bow, especially when you get up to the bow here, I'll just move up here and show you. When you get up to the bow here on a regular boat, this gunnel's down really low, and so you're casting, you've got nothing to lean against. But up on the bow, it's a absolutely fantastic fighting position to be in. And you can have one guy on this side, you can have one guy on this side as well. But what I'm saying is the height here lets you fight fish and walk around the boat as you're fighting fish. And I remember when we were in the little one up at North Cape, we both had a good kingfish on, and it was no problem. We were both walking around, up and over rods, and it was much easier than if we had a cabin on the front. So that's the second part I really like.
Because with the plumb bow, it's a bit of a polarising thing, but it actually makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Because it maximises the amount of space that you can have inside the boat.
That's right.
And it just this feels like a much bigger boat, doesn't it? Because of that fact, and you can fit so much more in it.
Yeah. The deck space is bigger, but it's particularly this gunnel
Everywhere's
height
a seat.
around the whole boat. So it's a fish fighting machine. And another thing that I don't like, mate, as you know, is rods and rod holders. When you're fighting fish, like there's one here, if you're fighting fish, you have to lift it over. So Simon made all these rod holders down here, so I can actually put my rods away.
We've actually got them on the other side.
Yeah. So we can put them away like that, and that's how we keep our rods.
Yeah, I must say, from my point of view, it is a sport fishing boat. We don't have any cover, but that's an intentional thing.
Yes.
Because being able to cast is we both love lure fishing.
Yeah.
So whether it's soft baits or whether it's stick baits or whatever, that's the type of fishing we like to do, and it just gets in the way.
Yes.
So having it open like this, yes, we do get a little bit of sun, but we protect ourselves, and we do get a bit. We're obviously in the elements during the winter as well, but we're looked after really by ourselves, and the fishing's more important, isn't it?
Oh yeah, its primary purpose is to catch fish and on lures. So it's lots of casting, lots of moving around, fighting big fish on small rods. You've got to have the right platform to do it. So that's what this boat is for, is catching snapper on lures, if you want to niche it right down.
Sure.
Yeah, and the other things I like is the storage space. So he's a clever bugger, Simon. He works with you. You tell him what you want and he'll do it. But see, you've got a little tackle storage in here. So this is where I keep my tackle boxes. And I keep all my tools under here. So trace and tools, bits and pieces under there, so that's really good. And you can stick all your bags and your anything you want. If you're a diver, you could stick heaps in there, but there's heaps. Probably doesn't look too good on camera there at the moment, but you can see down here, that's all our waders. There's a lot of room for storing stuff. But as far as quality of boats go, I always like to look at the wiring. Is it organised? Is it well labelled? Does it look okay? And if you look in the back here, you can see how the wiring's done. It's all tidy, labelled, well organised. So you can see he builds them with a bit of love, mate, Simon.
Yep. Now, while you're up there, you've fitted it out with the has-wing. How's that changed things for you?
That's quite a good question, Mark, because I don't know if you were around, and people go, you got to get a trolley motor. I said, no, I don't want one. It looks ugly. You know, it's nothing to break. I want to keep it simple. But now I've used it for a while. It's changed my life, mate. It is just so good for what I do. I can anchor on a school of bait, just push the button, and spot lock on a school of bait, and work up and down with your lures, and you just catch fish all day. If I'm going for lunch in a bay, I can go in further than all the normal boats with the anchor and a rode out, and I can go right in close to the beach or the rocks and have lunch, you know, a stone throw away from land, which is really cool as well. So now I'll never have a boat without one. And the has-wing, it hasn't missed a beat. It's been great.
And I noticed you got some really nice electronics here too. Like, how have you found the Ray Marine? It's a real good size, isn't it?
Yeah, I found it. I like the touch screen. Works well, but I've also got a remote here as well, because sometimes if you're pounding along and you can't get your finger in the right place, you can just use this instead. So I've got the best of both worlds with it's kind of like a mouse and a touch screen as well. You can undo that, and there's your ladder, and it's on both sides as well.
That's a good idea.
So great for when the kids, you know, at the beach, you can use your has-wing, pull right up to the beach, kids can jump off the back of the ladders, and you've got the perfect like picnic platform as well. So I really enjoy having no cabin, you know, especially with 3 kids on board. There's just so much more room, and they can jump off the sides and, you know, have a lot of fun as well. Being that open kind of boat.
Over the next couple of hours, we went on to catch a bunch of modest snapper to 2.5 kg, along with a nice trevally. But anyone who knows Paul Senior will not be surprised to learn that catching 1 or 2 snapper every few minutes is simply too little action for his liking. Let's head out for a bit and look for workups, he declared. And those of you who know me will not be surprised I rolled my eyes and ruefully shook my head. However, I should have had more faith. Not that Paul would be right, but that he would be lucky. Although a workup momentarily glimpsed through binoculars 2 miles out to sea turned out to be 3 gannets sitting on the water, we decided to fish over some OK signs showing on the big Ray Marine fish finder. Not only did we start catching snapper, but we were quickly joined by 2 whales, followed by a bunch of dolphins, and then gannets materialised from nowhere to plummet into the water just 200 metres away.
John Ecclestone from Boating New Zealand. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more of these videos, please subscribe to our channel.